We knew something wasn't quite right even the first day.
It did not leak when they bought the house. The roofer comes in, puts in a whole new roof, and we had leaks everywhere.
We thought we did everything right. We got the multiple quotes, we checked references.
This is half a lake here. This is not what I want to see for a brand new roof.
When we called for them to fix it, they couldn't come because they were all at the Christmas party.
I'm gonna pull it all up, we'll re-slope it. We have the run, so we only have to build it up enough to slope this away.
My 16-month-old daughter sleeps under the part of the roof that is the worst part.
Mike Holmes, did they actually do this roof?
No, we didn't. Motherfuckers. You want a good job? Keep me in shape. ROKU Contractor. Nice, that's good. God, I love my job.
We moved here because we thought it's a great place to start out. It was our first house. Before that, we lived in another part of Toronto in an apartment. In the process of buying the house, one of the things that we did was we got our house inspected. So one of the recommendations that the house inspector came back with was, he said, there's a couple of things that absolutely need to be done, and one of them was the roof.
So the funny thing is, it did not leak when they bought the house. The roofer comes in, puts in a whole new roof, and we had leaks everywhere.
We've had to cut attic access so that we could monitor the roof because there was leaks. We were actually taking buckets of water out of the attic for some time. So what we did was we phoned the company and we said, look, this work hasn't been done properly. You need to come and look at it. And that's at the same time when we found out that the first crew had been fired. Apparently they'd done poor work on our house and on another house.
When she calls him back in, she says, we have so much water sitting around the skylight. He says, hey, you only paid me to resheet the roof. You didn't pay me to level the roof.
The second crew to come back were here for a very short period of time. It's very frustrating because their business is to give us a roof that doesn't leak and make some money, and they are in turn supposed to give us a dry house. That's not what happened. The most unnerving part at this point is the fact that the roof that is the worst is the flat roof that is over Sophia's bedroom. And I am so afraid that when the leak happens, she's going to be the one that bears the brunt of it.
Daniel, nice to see you again.
See you.
Sandra?
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Let's go take a look at this roof. Band-aid after Band-aid, he fixed a few areas. Had a massive leak around the vent stack that was coming in big time around Christmas, and she phoned them up, and he goes, well, all my guys are getting ready for Christmas, so she did exactly what I liked, and she called another roofing company, and they came in the next day, and they stopped the leak.
We thought we did everything right. We thought we got the multiple quotes, we checked references, we spoke to them about the work that was going to be done, and it's incredibly frustrating because every time it rains, to this day, we are running around this house waiting for another leak to happen.
He had said to her, it's normal to have water build up on there. It's a flat roof. It's okay. It's not okay. We have to think of freezing. We have to think of water getting in.
We found most of the quotes came in around a certain point. And what we did was we decided on this one company because we checked their references. Everybody said that they had done a good job, they showed up on time, they had done the work that was promised. It was pretty positive.
It's nice to see that there's a slope from left to right here, at least 5-inch drop. That's preferable for a flat roof. I understand you're a little afraid of heights, so I brought my handy cam. I'm gonna go out and take some pictures. We're gonna come back downstairs, look on the monitor, and see what we come up with.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, what I see here is one hell of a lot of water. I mean, we have a proper slope here, but unfortunately, what we had over the years is a dip in the roof. This is where the leak was, so the second company that came in did fix this. They even put a 90 on the top here, just to keep water from going in case it was leaking from inside. On all the shingles that I do see just irregular shingles. We have two different types of shingles up here besides the original. The flashing is correct. Underneath the skylight, it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. It's nice and neat. All the water we see here, it's only a matter of time before it gets in there again. This is not what I want to see for a brand new roof. So what did they do wrong? They did not communicate it to the people here saying, hey, we're gonna have to do some resheeting up there. We're gonna have to slope it out a bit. We have the run, so we only have to build it up enough to slope this away. We don't want the water sitting on the roof. There's nothing wrong at all with the asphalt on the top, the flashing. Actually, I do see a crack in the flashing up there. Flashing here, I'm a little disappointed because I'm gonna see a lot of holes in the flashing, exposed nails, proper caulking across the top, but you can see the exposed nails. See this? This should have been sealed. Same as this side here, we have a hole in the flashing here. Bit by bit, it's going to continue to drip, and it could cause rot, it could cause mold, so it is an issue. We can see next door, 3 skylights, well done, no water whatsoever, and it poured rain last night, didn't it?
Yeah. We've had a lot of neighbors telling us, do you know how much water is sitting on your roof?
Well, it's funny because as I was standing up there, I get to look around at all the roofs,
Yeah.
and there's a guy over here that he's got more water than you do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this neighbor right here is just beautiful, same as the one with the 3 skylights across this way. Well, now to fix this and make it right, we're gonna have to pull it all up again. We're gonna have to true it up. And when I say true, I'm not leveling it. I want it off level, but I want it true. I don't want a cup. So we're gonna true it up. From there, we will do proper flashing. I have to pull the skylight so I can get it up underneath the skylight. We'll get it up underneath the shingles, and then we will videotape a little bit for you, show what we did do, and we'll sit right back down here again, and we'll make this right for you. We're gonna see no puddles.
Perfect.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
Good,
Thanks.
Mike.
Hey guys, I guess the game plan for today, we'll start just by stripping it down. We'll pull it up, we're gonna resheet it. We'll shim up the area. What the idea is because we have a dip in there now, which is holding all the water around the skylight, we're just gonna true it up, even bring it higher around that skylight so we keep it away from the skylight and have it run off the edge. Sounds good? Let's do it.
Right on. At the moment, we're just stripping the existing roof right down to the wood deck. Once we have done that, we'll put on a vapor barrier and then build it up with the protection board so we can get the water to drain a little better than what it is right now.
This is 10 test or fiberboard, and they've just built it up layer upon layer. We got rotten wood here from that's the old roof. They went over the rotten wood with 3/8 plywood, 2 layers of 10 test, and then the roofing over that. This just actually absorbs water if there's any break in the membrane. It's obviously a little bit of a cosmetic roof job, unfortunately. Looks good from the outside, but it's leaking and it's absorbing water.
We are seeing rust underneath, which tells us we have moisture. We have rust all over the nails. I'm gonna pull this up. I wanna see what's under it. It is an old chimney. Oh, that's not good at all. This is just not professional. It's not the way we do things.
It's not a matter of if it's going to leak, it's when it's going to leak. My 16-month-old daughter sleeps under the part of the roof that is the worst part.
Well, I can see that the roofer did resheet the roof, but he didn't care about the valley that he had around the skylight. That just kind of blows me away. We should have some J trim across the top of this, or D200, which is half corner bead, and what that's going to do is help keep moisture out of the drywall itself and wick it down and give mold. He did tie into this area here, because we can see it. This is where he's finished the new sheeting. This is dividing right approximately here in between the 2 houses. So he leaves the old boards. Obviously, that's what was here. They were rotted out. I don't know what he's done here. We are seeing rust underneath, which tells us we have moisture, possible leakage underneath, because we have rust all over the nails, all over the washers. He had to put just a little more care into this, we wouldn't be here pulling this new stuff up. And a pain in the ass. Well, you can see that he's new sheeting. He's come around, he's stopped, gone around the old boards. I guess he figured, you know, they're still not that bad. Okay, no big deal. Let's make sure we have a true nailing edge underneath. He could have carried it up on over top of here, which is what I would have done. Brought it right up. Give us more of a slope on this side. Strange, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carry my wood right to here. I'm gonna pull this up. I wanna see what's under it. It is an old chimney. Not a real good way of covering that up. So they just covered over the old chimney, and actually they took the paper from the bundles of shingles and just stuffed it in there. There is insulation in the chimney. That's good. I'd rather see Roxol Plus in it because it's completely fireproof. I don't like it that nothing's tied in. And I guess they looked at the chimney and went, work around it. I don't know. This is strange. Well, I'm just taking a look at the joint here. I don't want to see any rotten wood at all. Hopefully there is none. We only have about a 1-inch gap here, where we have about a 4-inch over there. It just shows they started sheeting. They didn't even know how to square this up. Oh, that's not good at all. They just have a rubber fitting here. Why the hell did they do that? Looks like they went from 4-inch to 3-inch. No, I find this funny, I really do. They even went to the extent of putting on a 90 to keep the water from going down. They believed there was a leak within the pipe. However, they have a rubber fitting from 4-inch to 3-inch. Now I've got to cut this open, buy the fittings, and get this right, because I'm not going to leave this. What if someone leaned against it? Somebody comes up and pushes, breaks the seal simply because it's not rigid. This is just not professional. It's not the way we do things. Well, you can see what they did. Why stop here? Why leave this piece in here? Why leave this piece, this piece? at least clean it to this point, right? They could have taken a saw, clean, cut that right across, brought their wood up. I'm not gonna worry about pulling this up because I'm resheeting this. So I'm now gonna bring my plywood right to here. I'm gonna leave what they've done, and I'm gonna go over it. Years ago, we were allowed to put 3 layers of shingles on a roof. That's one hell of a weight load. Nowadays, we're only allowed to put 2. So why even wait? Why do 2? Just get it up, take it all up again, inspect the area. You may need to resheet. Who knows if it's rotten wood? Go new again. Added holes for the vent. We need that for ventilation inside the attic. And that's how they do it. Cut a small hole in the wood and put a vent cap over it. All the roof's up, all the shingles are down. We've cleaned up, we have no nails in the neighborhood. I'm determining the highest point, and it sure looks like that side, but we're just gonna do a measurement here. And the level tells me it is, because I want it to run that way. It doesn't have to be much. I don't want it running into the house. Let's start with 1.5 inch 2x4 from this point here, right across. It'll help cover this gap so we can also screw it into here and screw it into here. Yeah, let's pull out this board.
Pull the whole damn
It's
thing
too
out.
high. Pull this one out. So let's pull this one, this, and this. Now that's nice to see. We have all 2x8s with a 1x2 on top of it to build it up. Nice to see for roof rafters, let me tell you. We just removed this one because we had a high point here, and I want the high point here, actually up at this side. Over the years, we have sunk down at this area, and it doesn't surprise me at all. It usually sinks in the center of the house, but it's something that I want to correct right now. Maybe he didn't want to do this because it was just too much for him. I'm going to start off with a long length of 2x4 running right down to the edge. From this point, we will determine how much we're going to build up around the skylight to make sure that we're up and around the skylight and it runs off and it runs down. Well, I want to keep it true, right? So I don't want to just go to the existing, so we're going to shim this as necessary.
Yep.
And we have a nice run down there, so I'm pleased with that. We are doing a subroof over the roof, but I'm gonna keep it true. So if I were to just screw this bottom plate right down like that, I've created another gully. So I'm gonna keep that up, I'm gonna shim this area, and everything will start from this point out. So let's make some shims. Let's take some 3/4 inch plywood, cut 3-inch strips, 1/2 inch plywood, 3-inch strips. I'm fine with that, drop one, yep. 1.5 inches even there. Okay, let's bring it down to this point right here, close to the skylight, good. Almost 2 inches. Okay, it's fairly close to the center in that point. Because we have such a gully in this point, I will continue with 2x4s this way, shim them up, keep the trueness, and we will start to tear down using the 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch plywood. I chose a very straight 2x4 just to show me, where my valleys are. I'm right on the peak with the end, I'm right on the edge with the other end, and it shows our dip. So, of course, this is gonna hold water. Even though it's running this way, it's gonna hold water down here the way we saw it before. Because I'm cupped this way, I want a filler strip on the edge. So we will bring our sheets right out. We have a solid edge for the capping to go over top of. It also gives me a tie-in to, where I want the next pieces in. But because it cups, I can't just scribe a line. I can't get under it and scribe a line. So I'm going to certain points and measuring, and then I'll mark that off.
Another 1/4 inch. Okay, right there.
This is real hard when it's cupped this way, and everything's out. To try and create this trueness, we really have to double check both ways to keep our trueness. It's just a pain, but we're almost there. Screw there, screw here, pick the highest point. Maybe he didn't want to do this because it was just too much for him. It's easy to say this is going to cost another $1,000, but I recommend it. The homeowners want it done right, and I think they would have paid it. So what we've completed today is that we've raised the backside so we have a runoff this way. Very gradual, but a runoff. We have a major runoff this way, which we keep. Around the skylight, I've lifted up around the skylight at all points, except for this point here, which will now, because it is a slight run this way and a slight run this way, runs around the skylight and gets off the roof. Tomorrow morning, after these are down, we are going to put the vent stack back in place.
We didn't put it in yesterday because we wanted to cut this little hole out. Just make it as tight as possible as opposed to what was there. It was flopping all around. By using ABS solvent cement, it's actually glued together and not just clamped. All right, that should do it.
We're ready to start with the roofing. We're going to install a felt paper. That's going to act as our moisture barrier, but it's also a bit of a fire retardant for us while we're working with the torches.
Okay, I see the protection board going over top of the tar paper.
Why we like to use it is it's asphalt saturated, so we mechanically fasten that, and when we torch our membrane on top of it, we have full adhesion, so we know the roof's not going to go anywhere.
That's good. That's really good.
What we're looking at now, Mike, is the base going down. That's the first step in this. That's forming literally the base of the roof, and it's going to be the added protection for the two-ply system.
Over top of this, we have the granulated surface, which is really going to finish it off.
Any color is really good, but white's good. It keeps the building cool. It reflects the sunlight a little bit more than a darker color.
So the top coat's now going up onto the peak, and you're just going to shingle over that?
Yeah, we've extended it up 3 feet, Mike. So we have to anticipate a snow load, and you don't want ice backing up underneath the shingles, so 3 feet will give us that protection.
That's good. That's the way to do this.
Yeah.
I noticed we have a guy across the way here doing a flat roof, same as us. I take it he saw us doing the work and called in a roofer because he did have a lot of water on top of that. I pointed that earlier
right.
here.
Yeah.
Fergus is just putting in the last of the vents and just finishing off the shingles over top of the overlay. And we're gonna do a ridge cap across the top here because they did a real poor-ass job of it, just using liquid tar. It'll never last. It's already cracked. It's cracked actually almost all the way across. And he's gonna torch that down. This prevents any leaking in between the houses. Where you have a standard peak and you have a roof cap. Cutting that corner allows us to bend that nice and simple. And then by the time the next one comes in, you don't see the edge of it. He took his time and chalked the line up here. From the street, you look up and you see clean. And we will do some caulking on the flashing up on the chimney, on the vent stack.
This is an aluminum flange with a rubber gasket wrapped around the ABS 3.5-inch vent stack, and this is just gonna give us our final seal here.
Oh, we're almost done here. I'm gonna finish up my little home movie because we don't want Sandy and Daniel up on the roof. This is originally what it looked like before we went up there. It's garbage. It's all coming down. We'll pull that skylight, we'll re-slope it, tie it in under the shingles, and we'll come back up and take another look. This is originally what it looked like before we went up there. And we remember the water. It was perfect timing because it did rain, and it shows that we have water everywhere in the cup on the roof. The old ABS vent stack, this was the big problem that you had before Christmas, before you had somebody else come in to fix it. It doesn't look bad. The old shingles, the way they did it, the flashing, we remember the flashing with all the holes in it. Now, here's where we go to it. We tore up the existing, and the very first thing we noticed was there was only one layer, and that was the top granulated layer, and that is incorrect. You need a minimum of 2 layers. I think they only do this to save money, and we noticed there was a chimney. I had no idea there was a chimney there.
Me neither.
It was not a big deal the way they closed it up, but they weren't neat about it. I noticed right away we had a problem with the vent stack because of a rubber fitting that was there, and it should have been a 4-inch to 3-inch ABS fitting. From there, this is where we started to true up the floor. The idea was to lose the cup on the deck and shim it up, build it up.
What was the angle like on the roof overall?
Overall, over the years, what it did was it dipped back into the house, so we had to run into the house, and I corrected that by bringing it up and also bringing it back out the way it's supposed to go. So we had to do quite a bit of shimming, keep it away from the skylight, yet keep that runoff from the roof to the edge. Laid down some tar paper on top of the wood, and this just helps really protect the wood before we put down the protection board, which is not a common practice for a lot of roofers out there. I like it. It's not expensive. It's $5 a sheet. It serves 2 purposes. 1, protection board. It protects the membrane. 2, it's fire rated. So as they're torching on the first membrane layer, what it does is bonds to it, and it protects the underneath from burning. So here's the first one going down over top of the protection board. The first layer of membrane is torched down.
So it all becomes one
Piece.
piece.
Here's the granulated layer. This is now the 3rd layer. This goes over top and again is torched down. So what this is going to do is if you ever had high winds, it is not going to blow off. It is attached to your roof. The way the other guys did it, it was not attached to your roof. And there's a finished look.
Oh boy, that's nice.
Wow.
Big difference. We built it up on the center in between the two roofs. They had a very bad tie-in. All 3 new vents. You pull out the old ones, you might as well replace them. They're not that expensive. Nice and sealed around the skylight. I like it very much.
Very nice, clean work there.
You just see no dip there. As a matter of fact, it's about a ½ inch higher at this point than it is here. And everything runs off to the east trough. Kind of ugly around the flashing, sealing up the holes.
That stack looks completely different.
Yep.
It does, doesn't
You
it?
saw the photos of it after the first crew left, when it was kind of tarred at the bottom and had a good angle on it?
I did. Big difference here.
Very big.
And here at your top roof, in between the 2 roofs, we had to put a ridge cap up there because all they did was join the 2 layers and then lay down liquid tar. That's never ever going to last. So we had to burn down a ridge cap.
Because it cracks on the front.
Exactly. It was already cracking. If you do a roof, it should last for 20 to 25 years. Not a year, not 5 years. Well, I don't think you're going to have any worries anymore.
Fantastic.
Especially there's going to be no water sitting on that roof.
That's great. So we'll have no more mosquito breeding.
Good point. If you're willing to pay the price for the proper work, make sure you say that. And make sure it's done. Follow it up, watch it, take pictures. If you notice, we use the white finish on top, and I chose that because your daughter, her bedroom's right under there, and it just helps keep the sun away.
It's especially good knowing that the problem area that was over Sophia's room is the one that's really been taken care of.
This looks like a perfect clean job, and what I liked a lot about this is that when the crew left, I haven't had to go and pick up roofing nails or anything, any single debris. You can just feel like nothing happened.
Well, it is supposed to be what you pay for, right? If your gut tells you this is a good guy, he's talking well, he's trying to educate me, he's trying to work with me, and all I keep hearing is how well he wants to do the job, or how confident he is about what he does. That sounds good to me. They had a hell of a time trying to fix their own problems, didn't they?
Well, they didn't fix them, you did.
No.
All right, then I have done my job.
You did a good, clean job.
Thank you very
Perfect.
much.
Thank
you,
you so
Mike.
much.
Thank you. I know there's a lot of good contractors out there, and obviously not enough of them, but there are good contractors out there. And for all these other guys that just don't care, you know, how do you stop them? How do you change this? Educate. It's the only thing I can see. Well done.
Good job, Mike. Good game, Mikey.
John,
Right on, buddy.
see you tomorrow.
See you, bud.
The ceramic tile in the front hall was 20 years old, very dated. We learned of a product that could be simply troweled on top of the existing ceramic. People say it's not that bad.
Personally, I think it looks like crap. I think we're looking at a contractor here that has installed this product for the first time. He didn't even pull up the 3/4 round.
He was very proud of his effort. He could not see what I was complaining about.
We've got to pull all this up, the toilet, the sink. All because of the poor job, we got to do that. That's a pain. Mike Holmes, did they actually do this roof?
No, we didn't, not others. Doing a good job keeping in shape. ROKU Contractor. Nice, that's good.
God, I love my job.
We knew this area of town pretty well and decided this is probably a really nice place for us to settle. When we moved into this house, we were really pleased with a lot of the renovations that the previous owners had done, but one of the things that they had not addressed was the ceramic tile in the front hall. So the tile that was there was 20 years old, very dated, but we weren't very thrilled about the prospect of having to break it up and all of the mess that ensues. So we thought we'd investigate some of our options.
How you doing, Kerry?
I'm fine, thanks so much.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Come on in.
We learned of a product that could be simply troweled on top of the existing ceramic, so we thought that would be something we'd investigate further.
This is a finished floor over top of ceramic, right?
That's correct.
What is this here? Just wood?
No, that's the original threshold.
Oh my God, that's the threshold of the other tile?
Yeah, that's right. And that's the paint.
They painted that?
Yes, they did.
Doesn't take long to look around and go, this was not a pro. This is somebody that obviously subbed it out, obviously hired the wrong guy.
I was told that what I could expect is any kind of finish that I wanted. It could be a sort of patterned concrete look to a more fine, maybe marbly kind of look.
What did you pay for this?
$10 a square foot for installation.
That seems reasonable. What was the total cost?
We didn't actually get to the point of total cost. We gave them a down payment. It would have been in the neighborhood of $2,000.
And what did you end up paying them?
Just the $500 down payment. I was starting to suggest that I don't think this is coming away the way I wanted it to, and I wanted to have their guarantee that it wouldn't come up as high as this, that they're probably going to file it down to a better height or a better finish. And I did get their assurances, but when they left, I was quite taken aback by what I was left with, and followed up with them on a number of occasions to see if they could come and rectify it, and basically I never heard from them again.
Is this the travel look you wanted?
No, in fact, we were more interested in the smoother type of finish.
So he gave you rough, you didn't like it. He
Correct.
said, I'm curious, what did he say?
He said, this is a very popular way to go, and the impression that it'll give the people that come to your house is one that you'll probably be very happy with, and he personally really does like this finish. People say things like, it's not that bad, or it's interesting, and it's just generally not the reaction that we want.
He chose to trowel it the way he wanted it. Don't ask me why.
The person who did the work was very proud of his effort. In fact, when I had stopped him and questioned him on how it was coming, he could not see what I was complaining about. Still, he stood by his work and felt that it was really representative of a good quality job.
Very sloppy at the stairs. We again had the tile trim all the way around your oak rails, which I would never have done that. It actually gives you a small tripping edge. We've gone into the bathroom here. Look at that. They didn't even pull up the 3/4 round. Why didn't they pull up the 3/4 round and put it back?
They said that the height would be so minimal that it's not worthwhile pulling up the quarter round.
You never go up against the 3/4 round. You take it up, so it gives a nice clean finish when you put it back down again. What I don't like is they didn't pull the toilet. You don't go up against the toilet. This is a very bondable product. Very poorly done. I think we're looking at a contractor here that has installed this product for the first time. It's clear, it shows. He didn't seem to care about the 3/4 round. He didn't seem to care about the thresholds. He didn't even know about thresholds. I would like to see downstairs. I want to look at the structure to see how well it's supported for bounce. This is something I want to see everybody look at, is the floor joist. What is the floor joist? We are 2x8. I'm not too keen on 2x8 floor joist because it's just not, to me, strong enough. I'd like to see 2x10. I'll know more once we pull out that floor upstairs. Since we're gonna do this, we have a choice now of changing the floor. What do you think about granite tile?
Actually, I'm rather happy to hear you say that, because my husband and I talked about it, and we're really gun-shy about repeating the process, and we would like to go with something more traditional like a granite.
Good, Billy, I'm gonna prep for that. I'm gonna get some tools and we're gonna start ripping this apart. And I'm gonna show you how it should have looked.
Great.
I think we'll start from this end here. Nice.
Holy mackerel.
Lots of concrete.
Wow.
Lots of concrete.
What a fiasco. Did they pour this concrete? No, that would have been under the existing tile.
It's under existing. It's underneath the existing ceramic tile from, I guess, years ago. They've laid a concrete pad under it. That's how we used to do it. Laid a mesh right on the subfloor. You can see the mesh here. Do a scratch pad, a concrete pad. In this case, they have about 3/4 of an inch, maybe 7/8. We don't have to do that anymore because it builds it up too high. Too much to take apart. We have different products we use now. No, I have no worry at all about damaging the ceiling downstairs. I don't want to use a jackhammer here because it's just going to shake the whole place up. So we're going to have to really chisel all the way through to get right down to the subfloor. Kerry had a specific design in mind. This guy that did the work, he obviously liked the way he trowels it and thought she would like it, and this is a definite communication problem. I'm glad that she only gave them $500 because she could have lost the $2,000 and then this is gonna cost more, so at least she was smart enough not to give him any more money. Stop and go, I don't like this, let's fix this. And of course he ran like a little dog with his tail between his legs. Yeah, this is a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it. Let's see if I can pull it. Oh my God. That stuff is so strong. Nothing. Man, they should have not used tile edge. They should have pulled up the 3/4 round. They should have pulled the toilet. Now we're pulling everything. Because of a poor job, we got to do that. That's a pain, big time pain. This kind of scares me because if it's that strong, imagine it being wrapped around the toilet. Let's just go see. You keep on this, I'll disconnect the toilet. Oh, this is cute. They didn't even pull up the flange. Look at this. They didn't even pull up the flange. They just cemented right over it. You gotta love these guys. To take the toilet out, what we want to do is flush it, get all the water out as much as possible. Yeah, this is a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. Now I am going to get a little bit of water out of the supply line. Sometimes when you pull these up, because they've cut the bolts to get the cap on to make it for decoration, it is frayed the top and I cannot get the nut off, so I have to cut that. I'm going to try and be careful not to scratch this toilet. Kerry was asking me, can we place this into a pedestal sink? And here's one thing that leads to another, okay? In order to change this to a pedestal sink, all the wallpaper has been finished to the cabinet. So once I pull this, we're gonna have drywall repairs. We're gonna have to pull all the wallpaper down, prep the walls, prime them, paint it, obviously fix the floor, all for a new sink. Walls are easy to fix, floors are not. Let's see if I can pull it. Oh my God. Not a chance in hell. I'm gonna remove the tank. Well, maybe we can give it to a reuse it store. All we had to do was pull this friggin' toilet, go under it, make it easy. No. I guess he wanted Mike to come here. I can't move it for nothing. Look at that. Nothing. I've probably done well over 100 bathrooms in my life, so I've had my hands in everybody's toilet. This is not how you ever want to remove a toilet, and this is due to people that don't know what the hell they're doing. Why should I have to smash out a toilet due to someone that was lazy, that didn't want to pull out a couple of bolts and put in a new gasket? At least I get a little frustrations taken out, just a little. This was the price of approximately $10 a square foot for a wonderful product, which it is. Installed wrong, this just turned it into about a $5,000 job. Oh, this is extreme. It's just turned it into, man, a nightmare. I almost wish we could use a jackhammer, but we just go right through the floor. $5 grand more due to someone who doesn't give a hell. That's a lot of money. Oh, I'd like to pull the sink out. And that's no big friggin' surprise to me. No shut-offs whatsoever. Put shut-offs in, it's a $5 item, I want to see shut-offs. If this tap ever leaks, it floods, you can shut it off. Now, I gotta shut off the whole house, drain this line, cut the pipes, so I can pull the sink. Well, I've never really done plumbing in a bird's nest before, but Kerry told me the story. One of her birds came in, actually opened the door all by herself, the bathroom door, the cupboard door, bored a hole in the bottom of the cabinet, that's why she wants it replaced, and put a nest in there to lay an egg. And she did all this without anybody knowing. I'm gonna put on some temporary compression fitting shut-off so we can turn the water back on. This way I don't have to pull out the torch and solder it. I really like these because they work very well. I'm gonna have that in the direction of the water. I'll tighten that up, shut them off, and turn the water back on. One good thing about this, it's one hell of a weight load off their floor. I can see this clearly. This floor drops big time in the center. We want a perfectly true floor. We gotta put down a lot of self-leveling cement. Day 2.
Lovely.
Here we go.
We got a levelness issue.
Yeah, I can see it right from the beginning.
Just 3/4 of an inch over 4 feet.
Oh, man. Because the weight load of this, and over the many years, I'm gonna guess this house is in the area of 50 years old, we've dropped at the staircase. So I'm looking from the front door to the staircase about 1.25 inch drop. All right, that means that we'll just clear that with the tile. We gotta put down a lot of self-leveling. This is gonna be beautiful tile. And if I put this tile down, we want a perfectly true floor. Granite is just that way. You want to see it perfect. There is no real room for error on this. The last thing I want to do is try and shim underneath the plywood because that's not going to work. It's not going to give me stability, so that is not acceptable.
15 and a half.
So that's
16
2,
feet.
3, 4, 5. All right, let's get 8. Today is Take Your Kid to Work Day, and so I brought my son in here. He's not too interested in this. He'd like to play computer games and stuff, but we're gonna get him into this. Just start out the screw slow. Don't try, you'll just jump off it if you don't. Start out slow, get yourself on it nice and straight. Drive it down. Not bad. Keep going. We'll get you some knee pads.
Okay.
You're gonna hold the screw nice and good. I'm gonna show you one more time. Into the wood, get it started, and look over your drill to make sure that is nice and straight down. If you're not, you're gonna come off the screw. You don't have to kill it, but you have to push on it. Now, if you hear it clicking off your screw, it means you're not straight on. That's how you can, did you hurt yourself?
I'm good.
You wanna start the screw, then move your hand. After about 1,000 screws, you should be a pro and I'll have to hire you.
Got lots of work for it.
Now we're talking. That's my boy. If you look at putting down a subfloor on top of floor joists and you nail it, 200-pound man walking across that floor moves the floor. This is 2x8 floor joist, not 2x10, not 2x12. So with movement, you will eventually, over time, start pulling up on the nails. That's how we get squeaks in the floor. That's how we have problems with our tiles where it cracks in the tile, cracks in the grout. So not only do I want to see 3-inch screws hitting into the beam, which is going to pull my beam up tight against my subfloor, I want a screw in between it. We're 16-inch on center here, and if I put my foot and I walk across here, I will actually have a bounce in that floor. So if I put a screw in, it'll pull the floor down tight. I've now helped eliminate any movement in the floor. See the fun we have next.
Yeah? What are we doing?
After we get all these screws down, we have to put a bonding agent on top of the plywood.
How are we gonna get it on?
We're gonna roll it on with a roller. If we put on self-leveling cement without any bonding agent, it's going to suck the water out of the cement, right? And when it does that, it actually puts pinholes in the top of the cement, which weakens the top of the cement. So by putting this bonding agent on the plywood, it helps bond it to the floor as well as seal the plywood so it doesn't absorb the water. About 1,000 screws later, we have the subfloor down. We just put down the primer bonder sealer because we're going to get about 2 garbage cans full of the self-leveling cement down on the floor. But I'll tell you, I got to get Mike going. I got to get him home. So if you don't mind, you and Sean take care of this.
No problem.
Let's go, bud.
See you guys later.
As I pour this out, it'll find its own level to the lowest spot in the floor, and it'll continue to go in that direction until it comes up to where we need it to be. It's a pretty quick setup. Probably about an hour you can walk on it, and any heavy traffic, 6 to 8 hours. And this stuff, because it sets up so fast, you don't want to be using any trowel at all on it or you'll leave notch marks. And once you get an edge from a trowel in it, it's not coming out.
What we're gonna do today is we're gonna start the tiles over here. Don has already prepped the area and he's laid the subfloor to this point, and because he's counting on taking his time here, and I don't mind him taking his time. I really don't, because I want this perfect. He's going to do all full tiles at this point, add cut tiles later, because you don't want your thin set to dry on you. So you mix enough to work with, and he's going to get it down. I'm going to go in the bathroom. I'm going to start pulling down the wallpaper to prep for refinishing of the bathroom. So between just the two of us right now, we will slowly but surely get this done.
For granite or marble or slate, a lot of slate, you want to have a very minimal grout line because you want to give the illusion that it's one piece, and the smaller the grout line, the better chance you have. Once you get comfortable with the tile that you're working with, for the most part, you get a flow going and you start to go a little faster. But to get the room square, I like to take my time and make sure that I do have a nice square start. As long as I use my square and my level to keep a straight line, everything else will fall into place.
Wallpaper is a real pain in the butt to remove. An inexpensive way to do it is just to wet that back paper. Once you wet that back paper and it soaks in, it'll scrape right off the wall.
I've marked the tile here and here for the length of the vent hole and here for the width. Now I have to bring my lines in, and I'll do the same thing on the back side, so that on the marks in the front, I'll just take my dry cut and I'll just score the top of the tile, so that when I make my hole cut in this tile, I'll come in from the back and I score the front so that when the blade comes through the tile, it won't chip up the tile a lot because the top's already scored.
Today I'm going to prime and paint the washroom, color that goes with the granite. Nothing major, piece of cake.
Last minute touches, Sean's in there painting the new 3/4 round to the baseboard. Right now I'm gonna get the toilet and sink in, accessories, and we are gonna bring the people back to show them what we've done. Well, now we have all the tile done. I really like it. It's nice and true. We brought the floor up just a bit to compensate for the unlevelness in the floor, but this has really turned out well. We chose a black grout to go in between the granite, and there's a couple reasons for that. Anytime you use a granite, normally we're gonna see a black grout on this, but I like it for the color. It really brings out the tile and ties us right into the threshold, which is a custom slate piece that we've ordered and had it bullnosed down.
This slate was originally chalkboards in the Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario, and they were installed there in 1858.
Sean is just finishing up the baseboard. He's giving it a quick coat of paint there because we've added new 3/4 rounds, so we want to tie it back in. We got to put a riser kit on the toilet flange. You can see the difference. We're up at least an inch and a quarter. I want to see a wax gasket over a rubber anytime. And we have the flange that goes down inside. Rubber is always one that's going to leak before wax. Use the wax. And a little trick here. I'm going to take a separate wax gasket with no flange. I'm going to do a little bit of rubbing here, which helps me seal this. I'm going to rub it on the bottom of this. Even though I have a rubber flange here, what this does is acts as a seal, and it's actually recommended on the installation instructions. I'll do it for the second one because I have to build it up even more. Now that height isn't bad, but what I'm going to do is my other little bit of waste here. I'm going to use it because our height still is a slight difference. It won't matter because by the time I squish the bowl down, that's just going to bring it down into place and make everything nice and watertight for me. These are the bolts that will lock your tank down to the bowl to seal the tank. Now here's another trick. I see everybody just throw these in place and they rely just on the rubber fitting itself. Don't. Just get a little bit of caulking. That'll seal it at the bottom once I pull it tight and I'm not just relying on the rubber washer. And that'll work. Color of the day. I'll set my height.
Something like that.
Whole family's waiting patiently outside. Okay, come on in and see it.
Oh, Mike, this is beautiful.
It's like night and day. Real attention to detail. Very classy and elegant.
Now for the threshold, we used a slate threshold. And we had a custom cut as well as a bullnose on the edge, so it ties in very nice to the carpet. You can see that we brought this floor up quite high to make it nice and strong and drew it out. We have black grout in between the tiles. You notice we have a very, very tight grout line in here. We don't want a large grout line normally for ceramic tile. We would, but for granite, we want it very tight.
Right, okay.
So we did a trim effect around the rails here, just so I didn't see that edge of the tile because we had to bring this floor up high. But it makes it really nice. And then we continued around to the top of the steps. We added a slate threshold at all entrances, excluding the oak floor area. We just used oak wood there.
Right.
It gives it a nice bright effect. Don took a lot of time to do this. He really did take his time because with granite, you really want a nice trueness. It's a beautiful tile. It's very expensive, an expensive installation. But I think he's just pulled this one off.
Looks fantastic.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm glad you like it. Let's take a look at the bathroom.
This looks like a brand new bathroom.
I just can't get over it. It's beautiful.
Pedestal sink. Makes it more room in here rather than the cabinet.
Very good.
The homeowners wanted a simple floor. They chose it. Contractor did something different. He loved it. The contractor loved his work. Even his boss came in and said, "This is beautiful." They only gave him a deposit. And they didn't come back for the rest of the money. What does that tell you?
You see how smooth this is? This is amazing.
You're gonna love it.
Smooth. And when you look across, you see the lines are absolutely perfectly straight.
Check out this cut. This is granite cut to perfection.
Granite is probably one of the most expensive floors you could ever put down. But the end result, if you take your time and really put some care into it, it shows. It stands out. I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good
To see you. This is wonderful.
Nice to see you. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Take it easy. This was not a big job. It was not about major devastation or somebody being completely swindled out of their money. But when I look at it, this is about poor workmanship with good material. That's a shame. Connie. Damn good job, buddy. Damn good job.